So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys one of my favorite rituals. So every equinox and solstice, I do a little ritual that helps me kind of get a little bit of a hint of what's going to be happening for me that next quarter. So this ritual comes in two parts, but first I have to, of course, decorate my planners with washi tape and stickers. But once that's done, I go into my planner, and on the first page I write, with this fall equinox, I easily find myself ... right? And so I go in and I write down all the things I want to manifest. Like I easily find myself finding the most right aligned clients, or I easily find myself, getting into my health and fitness goals, things like that, right? And so it's interesting, when I first started doing this, I wasn't as awakened in my third eye and my psychic abilities were not online. So it really was just strictly manifestation. But now that I've opened that up a lot, I'm actually getting like intuitive hits and downloads, things are kind of coming in. And so I really enjoy the ritual even more now that it's like, oh, I'm kind of get a sneak peek of what's going to happen to me, these next 3 months. And so that's the first part of the ritual. The second part of the ritual is actually where I go in and I do card draws for different areas of my life. Now these areas can change from each equinox to solstice. Like I almost always do like career, business, finance, romance. I do an overall theme. I like to do a message from my star family or my spirit guides. But this time I actually included travel, because I'm going to be traveling more in the fall equinox, where like summer solstice time I wasn't really traveling much. So you can kind of change it up from season to season. So once you have those categories defined, you actually go in and you draw your cards, right? And so I always like to write down the name of the deck that I drew the card from and the card itself, and then I'll typically like channel into it a little bit, or sometimes I just read the description of the card and just kind of like be like, okay, I think it means this or that. Like you don't always have to actually intuitively channel. Also, most decks have a guidebook in the back, so you can go through and you can just kind of read that guidebook and write down guidance from there as well. And then once I've done that, I like to put the cards on my altar. So typically, like I'm traveling around more so right now than I have in the past, so I just have one altar. But sometimes in the past I would have like separate altars, like for wealth and career, and then one for like romance, or one for like ancestors, things like that. So it just kind of depends how you have your altar set up. If you don't have an altar set up, you can just, maybe this could be the first thing on your altar, and then just kind of let it build and grow and see where it goes. And I think one thing that's really interesting too is that once you've done this so many times, like today when I did my fall equinox intention, I went back and looked at mine from summer solstice, and a lot of them, like I went through, it's like I actually like had either manifested them or I wasn't interested in manifesting them anymore, because at that time I was planning on staying in LA longer and like getting a job here. And once I made that decision in the middle of the summer not to do that I wanted to leave LA and continue working remotely, then a lot of my manifestations like didn't make sense anymore, so they kind of fell off. But you can kind of go through, like prior to doing the current manifestations, look at the last one, you can either roll them forward or be like, hey, like I'm not interested anymore. So that's it. That's my ritual. I hope you enjoyed learning this, and I hope maybe you'll be inspired to do your own ritual.